So this is the new box for Nosler Whitetail Country. It comes in a load of calibers that are all whitetail uh, specific, which is why it's called Whitetail Country.
What?
I brought Maddie on because I wanted her to talk about the technical side of the ammunition. When people see it at first, their number one thing people look at right away is price. And when you're buying a box of Nosler ammunition, as I said earlier, it is the Ferrari of it. So what does a Ferrari cost? I mean, it's not going to be the cheapest on the ammo list. However, Whitetail Country falls at like I've seen it for anywhere from $33 to $38 a box. So it is in the super affordable range for that reason. And I actually killed a deer with it this year, as you killed too.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of put our experience with it to the test this year, and I have nothing but good things to say. Both deer were dead within 20, 30 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Everything went together the way that it should. I didn't get to recover a bullet. I don't think you did.
Mm-mm.
Mine went all the way through.
Yep.
But the exit wounds were devastating, and the animals went nowhere. So that's my experience with it. It was an inexpensive round. But also when we went to Arizona, we had to do some long range shooting. So we were able to put it to the test there as well. And I was using my 110 Ultralight Elite by Savage, and we were doing really, really tight groups with this stuff, which impressed me. It's a little bit, I was shooting 308. I don't know what box I have here, but I was shooting, this is the 270, so this is yours. But it's a little bit heavier bullet in the 308, and it just, on the patterning board, it did really, not patterning board, but on the target board, it did really well. It was far less than 1-inch groups. Obviously, the gun is really good, but the ammo held up to that too, and at a price point that's absolutely ridiculous. So I wanted to bring Maddie on to kind of talk about it, because this is a new ammunition. We launched it, I think it was October, which was like right in the hot zone of when people would be buying ammo. So it was a little bit tough for people to probably get it this year, or know that they were getting it, have time to sight in their gun for it and that sort of thing. So there's going to be a big push over the next like 4 or 5 years to really saturate the marketplace with information so that they understand what they're looking at, why it's inexpensive, but also why it's fantastic. So I wanted to bring Maddie on to kind of talk about that and educate people on it.
Yeah, so this was a really exciting launch for us. It has been in the works for a while. We have sales reps all over the country, and they've been telling us for years that we're just not at the price point we need to be to get in with the whitetail market. So Nosler was established in Oregon, and we're still in Oregon, and I feel like we're really well known in the big game hunting space, specifically more so in the West.
Of course.
And we really wanted to branch out into that whitetail space. And the thing that we've had, or the line that we've had that was hitting that market or tailored more towards that market, was our ballistic ammunition, which is great as well. But we really weren't able to hit the price point we needed to be in when people are shooting more than one deer a year. So here in the West, most states are draw, and you're really only getting one deer or elk. So if you spend 60 to $100 on a box of ammo, that's lasting you a while.
Yeah.
Whereas in the whitetail market, you might be shooting.
We got 3 the other
5,
day.
10. Yeah. I mean, you have a lot more opportunity to shoot more deer, and there's a lot more opportunities for management deer. And so people aren't wanting to spend that much on a box of ammo when they're shooting closer distances, and when they're shooting multiple deer a year. And so we've done a lot of research on this. We've done a lot of research on our competitors to know what our bullet needed to do to exceed and bypass our competitors. And we're super happy with the performance that we've been seeing out of both the solid base bullet and the straight wall. So the Whitetail Country line, it's loaded with the solid base, the straight wall. The straight wall is a new bullet that our engineers worked on this year, and we're seeing really good expansion and penetration out to 300 yards, which is really good for straight wall zones. But the solid base bullet is a bullet that we launched actually in the early 70s. And the only reason it went away back then is because Nosler at the time didn't have the production capacity to keep innovating and also keep running that bullet. So they kind of had to choose between the solid base bullet and the ballistic tip bullet. And we were leading innovation in the market at that time with a polymer tipped bullet. So they decided to move forward with the ballistic tip, and it kind of took the production capacity of the solid base at that time. So over the last several years and decades, we've been working on improving our jacket. So the really big difference in our solid base bullet that differentiates us from our competitors in the whitetail space is that this bullet is impact extruded. So what that means is it's a manufacturing process that takes a copper slug and it allows us to manipulate the thickness of the bullet's jacket so that we can get a really solid base on that bullet, hence the name. So the jacket's heavily tapered, it has a good solid base so that when it impacts, that the front is opening up for really good expansion, but then that heavy solid base is pushing it all the way through the animal. So the fact that you guys got clear pass-throughs on your deer that you shot this fall, that's exactly what we want to happen, because we want the blood trail on both sides of the animal.
Right.
So that's the main differentiator, the way that our competitors make products in your guys' market, and it's actually the way we make our target bullets. And that's when we don't care what they do after they hit the target. Like,
right.
We care about them, marking the target, and then we don't care what they do, because they're not going into an animal. But the way we make those bullets is it starts with a flat copper strip. And so the thickness of that copper strip is basically as thick as we can make the bullet jacket. There's no way to make that thicker. And it's much more economical to make bullets that way. But we at Nosler don't see that as an ethical hunting bullet. Even though they do the job and we see our people having success
Sometimes
with competitors' bullets, we often see that they're either not accurate or not reliable, or they don't go off. So like we always say that a click of the trigger is the loudest noise in the woods when your shot doesn't go off. And so what we wanted to do with this whitetail ammo is do an impact extruded bullet that we knew was going to work every time, was very accurate, had good penetration, and was reliable. And I think we hit all the marks with that ammunition line. I don't know. What else do you guys want to know about it?
That I think that was a great point. When she says straight wall, she's referring to a lot of Michiganiacs because from here down, we have the shotgun only zone, or which is now called just a restricted zone, which a lot of people are using the 350 Legend, 400 Legend, and 450 Bushmaster. And right now, the Whitetail Country comes in the 350 Legend. What are the calibers right now, and what do you anticipate in the future?
So right now we have 6.5 Creedmoor, 270 Win, 7mm M08, 308, 30-06, 30-30, 350 Legend, and 450 or 4570. Sorry.
Which should be just a straight wall cartridge. They don't let us use that in the restriction zone, because it's off by like 0.11 or something like that. It's off. Yeah, it's the stupidest thing. But you would think the 4570, with the way the bullet works, that you should be able to use that for deer, and you can't. Yeah, just in one zone.
We are going to have some line extensions of our whitetail ammo. I don't know that they've solidified all of the cartridges that are going to bring onto that line, but they'll be launching this fall. And I know one for sure is the 243. I think we launched the 308 in a 165 grain bullet. I think we're going to do that one in a 150. Yeah, we have some different bullet combinations and some new calibers that we're going to be introducing.
Well, I think I feel a little bit better now understanding exactly the science and how you guys have done such a good job. But like I said, we shot 3 deer. They dropped. It went through. Clean, great exit wounds.
No chase.
Gnarly looking, no chase. And on top of that, when we were shooting like 200-300 yards, we were seeing very, very consistent, on the board with it inside of 1 inch, no problem. So that was pretty exciting to see and to know that that's working. I have a question. When people are like, I want to buy Nosler ammunition, or like, where can I get this? What is like your answer?
anywhere online.
Yeah.
So when we launched in October, we had it available on our website, Optics Planet, Bass Pro, Midway. Those are kind of always safe if you're ordering online. But we do have it in all of the stores, like the mainstream stores.
Yeah.
And then we have dealers that work with smaller brick and mortar shops that are bringing it in too. And what's exciting is that this price point has actually allowed us to enter into a lot more brick and mortar locations in the East and Southeast. And that price point, we're able to do that because we changed some things in our manufacturing that allows us to be more efficient. So essentially we're making that solid base bullet in one machine, and it's hands off as far as our employees go and our production employees. So they're not having to babysit those steps through that bullet. It's all in one process. Whereas with our AccuBond or our partition, or even the ballistic tip, they're going through multi-step machines that someone's having to take it from one machine to the next to the next. So that's what allows us to offer a premium product, in my opinion, at such a low price, which has gotten us into much, much more stores in the whitetail space.
How are you guys like receiving feedback from customers and like just like how does communication with the public go?
On this specific line,
This product or generally, just it's always interesting to me to how like companies are interacting with their actual customer base.
She goes, "You guys are supposed to be doing it." No, I'm just kidding.
Because I do podcasts. You just told me. There you go.
Or is it like one of those situations where like there was it fell off the truck and the box was dented and that's the only interactions you hear are like people being upset about something or like are just in
What's the
general.
feedback been?
Yeah.
Feedback has been really good. I would say in the last year, we've changed a lot of things that have really been aligned with what our customers have been asking for. I think COVID was really hard for us because we saw such high demand that we weren't able to get product out the door fast enough. I mean, product was sold before it was even boxed and ready to ship, and
Right.
people thought we were shut down because they couldn't get our product, when in reality we were shipping more than we ever had before. So COVID was a tough time and we saw increased costs. And one thing that happened was our prices skyrocketed. Like, as a premium brand, you expect our prices to be higher than our competitors, which they were, but it got to be too much. And so this last fall, we reevaluated all of our MSRP pricing and we lowered our prices by about 25%, which has helped immensely. And that was because of customer feedback. And so we're still priced higher than our competitors, as we should be for
it's a premium product.
But it's a much more affordable. And then we've heard nothing but good things about the Whitetail Ammunition line, which I think it's really cool because as I think we're, I guess, 77-year-old company now that we're in 2025, but we have customers that have been with us from the beginning and have essentially followed our company. And so a lot of our customers were with us when we launched the solid base bullet in the 70s, and now bringing it back, they've been really excited, and we've received really good feedback on the reintroduction of that. And then just the guys that maybe want to shoot Nosler, but it wasn't affordable for them. This is an option for them.
Right.
So Whitetail Country, it's great for deer. And then, our hope is that maybe someone has an elk hunt or they draw a moose tag or, whatever that might be, then they can trust us to bump up to maybe ballistic tip or trophy grade. And so I think it's a really good starting point, and it's very effective. It works very well. And I love that we're able to get premium ammunition in the hands of our consumers at a much lower price, because that means that more hunters I feel like it's a responsibility to shoot the best. I mean, you're dealing with a live animal's life here. And I feel like it's our duty as hunters and conservationists to put that animal out as quick as possible. And I truly believe this ammunition does that.
Exactly. And at a price that's affordable.